Warning, the following podcast has been classified as insanely lucrative. Listener discretion is advised.
I just find it so interesting that you can have a product that's priced more expensive than another product, and just by adding some additional text and additional pricing to it, you can outsell that same competing product, which in this case was the exact same product.
Your attention, please. Listening to the AM/PM podcast may cause recurring revenue streams and unfair advantages over your competitors. Other side effects may include fatter wallets, fired bosses, and longer vacations. Listen at your own risk. Here's your host, seven-figure entrepreneur and online marketing madman, Manny Coates. Manny Coates.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AM/PM podcast. My name is Manny Coates, and I will be your host. This is the podcast where we discuss generating recurring revenue 24 hours per day during the AM and the PM, hence the name of the podcast. As a matter of fact, I was eating Chinese food, and during the half-hour drive there and half-hour drive back, I was making money. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. So let's talk about pricing. There's so many cool facts and little tactics and tricks and studies that have been done with pricing that it just boggles the mind. And we're going to get into talking about where you should price your products or how you should actually come up with a price for your product. But I want to talk about some pretty interesting facts. Okay. So for example, the number 9, right? It's a number that we all tend to end our pricing with. Everything ends with 9, right? I mean, if you're buying on iTunes, it's a 99-cent product. If you're walking through some kind of a retail store, almost everything ends with a 9. It's $19, $29, $39. And there's actually science to back up the claims that 9 is a powerful number to end with. If you sell something for $29, it's going to sell better than if you sell it for $30. But here's some interesting facts. This is pretty cool. And if you've ever wondered why Amazon has the MSRP or the regular price listed on a product, and then it could be slashed out, and then it shows the price under that that's actually being sold. There's a reason for that, and it's super powerful. And by the way, guys, if you are not using that, if you just have a listing, a product page you go to, and it just has your regular price, you're missing out. You're losing out on a ton of sales, okay? You got to have some kind of MSRP or some higher number on there that's slashed out, and then your regular price, so that people can see how much they're saving. Okay, so let me give you an example. There was a test that was done where they had a price on the same product. One was $39 and one was $40. You would think the $39 price tag is going to beat the $40 price tag on that product, and you'd be right. It's going to win every time. Now, if they took that price, that $40 price tag, and they actually wrote above it regular $48. Okay, so it says regular $48, and now the price is $40. Now the other tag is still, all it says is it says $39. Which one do you think sold more? The one that says $40, that also said at the top regular $48 and it's kind of crossed through, or the one that just only has $39? Well, if you guessed the $40 tag, you're right. That one won. Okay, it beat out the $39 tag by a ton. That's crazy, right? I mean, I just find it so interesting that you can have a product that's priced more expensive than another product, and just by adding some additional text and additional pricing to it, you can outsell that same competing product, which in this case was the exact same product. It's really cool. Now, there were some additional tests that were done where they took the price, they made it $39, and then they varied other prices to see what would happen. So here's a pretty cool one. They had a product. It was a clothing item, a woman's clothing item. It was going to be selling for $39. Now, in this experiment, it was in a catalog. They wanted to find out what would happen if they had two other price points, one higher and one lower. And they were testing the power of 9, right? $39 versus other pricing. So they had $39, which was the baseline product. Then they had $34, and then they had $44. Okay, so one was less, one was more, and then, of course, the one that ended in 9. And then the catalog was sent to an identically sized audience to see what would happen. Guess what happened, right? You would think maybe the $34 price item was the one that won, but it wasn't. It was the one that was at $39. It actually beat all the other prices, okay? It clearly beat the $44 price, but it even beat the $34 price. So think about that. How cool is that? That's a strategy that I actually used when I was pricing some of my products. I thought, well, if I put it, down in the lower, instead of $29, I make it like $24, I'll get more sales. But I found out that I could keep it up at around $29, and I would actually continue to make the sales that I wanted, and I could actually outprice some of my competitors, right? It's that power of 9. Now, I remember there was a study somewhere on the power of 7 as well, and I haven't looked into it to find it yet, and I'm going to probably do an episode on that. But I like to price things even at 37. I think 37 might even be more powerful than 39, at least in the experiments that I've done myself. But this was an actual study that they had done, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So the power of 9, keep that in mind. You can always sell a little bit more expensive when you end in 9 than you can if you're trying to sell it, let's say at $34, $35, where you might think you might get more sales. You're cutting down your profit margins though, and you might actually be making less sales. So think about that. All right, guys, I want to leave you with one last little statistic that I think is kind of cool. I didn't know about this, but I think it's really interesting. Did you know, for example, that people, they will actually spend an average of $2 more at the supermarket if they are shopping in a counterclockwise direction? Isn't that a weird fact? That's crazy. Anyways, guys, that's it. If you like the podcast episode, please do rate and review it. Let people know. I would appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the AM/PM podcast hosted by Manny Coates. For more information, insider tools, and to get the resources mentioned in this episode, visit ampmpodcast.com.